2024. What a crazy year it's been. Learned a lot of lessons and, well, just learned a lot. Changed my approach to many different things. I've started working on different illustrative projects, but figured I'd show you off one of the many paintings I've created this year, because, as I've said before, if it were down to me, I would paint all the time. But illustration is just cheap. Cheaper to work on, cheaper to manufacture, cheaper to produce, cheaper to process. Pick a thing, basically. But I'm immensely proud of this, mostly because, well, it's completed in my friend's living room. It's not like I have a fancy studio. Like, if I did, I would expect a lot more of myself. And a lot of it's limited with colours. Like, I always try and limit myself in some way, which, yeah. Old Captain Hindsight probably would have added more colour to this, like the foreground, just to make it sort of blend better. But this is one of, well, I think it's probably the only piece this year where I've actually tried to combine all of the sort of elements and tricks and like all the little things I've learned over the years, you know, and cram it all into one painting, which, yeah, didn't really work, if I'm honest, but still, one of my favourites. Turned out way better than the Black Bull Rider, but hey-ho. But you'll see what I mean. As you get closer to this, you'll start to see some of the amazing colour shifting and beautiful effects. Because you've got to remember, this room is incredibly dark. Like, so you're only going to see about a quarter of what's going on because, well, my camera is pretty shocking and, yeah, light. You kind of need light with pearlescence, especially with colour shifting pearlescence, because it relies heavily on the light. I think you can probably see a little bit of it if I come off to this angle, because the gold down here disappears and the gold up here starts to appear and shine through. But it's something I wanted to experiment with for years, is using automotive pearls and play around with sort of, well, play around with different styles, you know. A whole bunch of texture on this piece, which is really cool to look at. And just adds to the sort of depth and dimension of it, especially as you're walking around it. Or just observing it generally. It's like, there's just so much going on. But it was this piece that made me really think about it and think that I was kind of done with pearls. I like the idea of it, but too many people just see it as glitter and I can't be fucked with that. But it's that and the styles don't really mesh, you know, like trying to combine something more traditional, like the sort of monochromatic black and grey grisaille style with a sort of more modern abstract approach. And that's it. It works as a piece. It's, you know, it is beautiful in of itself. It is it's rather large. It is actually rather large. This is the other reason. Can't really show it off in here because don't really have the wall space. But it's definitely made me think this year about making more sort of signature paintings and like working in a completely different way. Like having a bit more faith and a bit more of a connection with, well, God. And trying to well, just trying to push myself, really. Find the limits of imagination, and a lot of the time, it's not the imagination that's ever limited, it's the technical skill that takes time. This is why this year I've just really focused on actually improving and sort of refining my technical skill, because whilst I know a lot and can apply a lot of different techniques, it's having the facilities and the sort of everything behind you, you know, like I mentioned with this piece. If it were down to me, what I would have actually done is done this in oils. So done the foreground entirely out of oils in, well, basically as it is now, and then glazed over the grey areas with oils. Probably still would have kept this, to be fair, but it just helps to make it a bit more defined. And like I say, it's one of those things I've spent all these years sort of building these technical skills, but you need the studio, you need the paints, and, well, one thing nobody really tells you is oil paints absolutely stink. And when you're painting in a living room, you really don't want to be living in or around oil paintings. It's fine when they're done, but they still stink. Whereas acrylics don't have that issue. But yeah, moving forward, I'm just going to be focusing, like I say, continuing to strive towards goals, essentially, and whilst they may not be the sort of classical success in what most of the world defines, seemingly, got a lot to do and a lot to achieve and a lot more art to produce. And I think that's the biggest thing, really, with this year is, well, as much as I love creating, I have to be realistic and actually start to put into place, you know, build a team around me so that I can just create. Let other people worry about the social media and analytics and metrics, and, you know, I get it, but at the same time, yeah, I have the most fun when I'm in the process of creating and or just creating. It's the thing I realised this year. It's like, as much as social media helped me to achieve the bachelor's degree, to get to the next set of goals, I need to step things up and really push myself, which, whilst I've done an adequate job with the limited to no resources, it's like, yeah, should be fun seeing what I'm capable of when I actually have an abundance of resources, you know? And not be limited or held back by the established thought processes of what you should do as an artist and how you should act as an artist and what you should create and yada yada yakety. Like I pointed out to someone recently, is like, there's cookie cutter artists, and, you know, they appeal to the corporates. You know, they are very well branded and they do a good job at what they do, but I like making art. I like making people think. And even something like this that is painfully obvious, I can guarantee there's going to be a whole bunch of people arguing over the meaning because I haven't clearly defined it. And I say, couldn't help throw an old Alfy up there after doing 4 books this year. It was like, it just felt like it needed it. Like I say, you'll have to wait for the subsequent books because only one of them is out, which you can buy now. Go check out on Amazon. Yeah, I'll be back with more videos at some point. It's like I say, just reevaluating goals and moving forward, attempting to keep pushing the envelope. Yeah, I just figured I'd show off one of my favourite pieces from this year, of which there are many, but very few of them are this detailed, and yeah, it's enjoyable to sort of study and look at. Because by no means is it perfect, but what art is. Doesn't perfection take away from the art itself? I don't know. It's a whole different philosophical debate. Yeah, if you like what I do, make sure to subscribe. There will be more videos in subsequent years. Like, comment, all that usual jazz. You know the score by now. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think the meaning is? I'm opening up a wormhole there, but hey, bit of healthy debate on YouTube never hurt anyone. I mean, not that that's ever a thing. But hey, till the next time, thank you very much. See you soon. Peace out, my lovers.